Making that leap from manager to leader can be one of the most transformative moments in your career. It's the difference between simply running a team and inspiring a team to achieve great things. If you want to know how to make that shift and become the leader you're destined to be, then you're in the right place. For those of you new to this channel, I'm Tariq. I'm a product and technology leader at one of the world's largest investment banks. I've navigated the corporate world for the last 20 years and I've mastered the transition from being a manager to a true leader. So today I'm going to share with you the steps and the mindset that is needed to help shift to the leadership state, but then also help you get there. So as a manager, your focus is really on operations and metrics. You've got a well-oiled machine that you need to keep ticking. That means making your team get the work done just to keep the machine going, meet your objectives, meet the metrics that are set from you. And don't get me wrong, that's important to do that. It's always important to keep the machine going. But if you want to be that person that steps up into leadership, that's about vision, that's about influence, and that's about elevating the team to achieve things that they weren't set out to do and that they didn't think was possible. So in this video, we're going to talk through those steps that you need to make, those shifts that you have to make that will turn you into a leader and prime you for that next leadership position. So first up, you need to shift from managing tasks to inspiring a vision. So when I made the move to leadership, I realized that it's not just about telling people what to do and their to-do list. It's about showing them why they're doing what they're doing and how that work fits into the bigger picture. And for you to be able to do that, you need to be able to firstly understand your company's larger vision. You need to understand what role you play in that and what those wider objectives are. Not just focused on your small, well-oiled machine within a larger, complex beast of machinery. A great leader inspires those to think beyond their to-do list and then connect the effort of their team with the larger organization, the larger goals. And that helps to motivate the team, but also creates buy-in for you to do things that were not necessarily in the book of work for that team, on their plate to do, and things that they're not thinking about. And that's how you stretch into high performance and getting a high performing team working. So when I transitioned into a leadership role, one of the things that became clear to me was that I needed to be able to paint that picture, that compelling vision of what should be the opportunities that my team should go after. And I engaged the team, made them more motivated to do that. They didn't then just do tasks and work for me doing tasks. The team became a group of people, my teammates, that were working with me towards building something bigger. And that's really important because you need to feel like you're all together at the same level, the same state, effectively working together, everyone playing an important role to build something bigger than yourselves. The next attribute is really developing your emotional intelligence. Now, this means a lot of things. It's a very large topic. Your emotional intelligence is something that develops as a human, but in the workplace, it's really understanding other people's needs, understanding their motivations, understanding what gets them out of bed in the morning to do their job, and what helps them perform day to day. So taking that move from just asking your team to get the work done on their to-do list, moving into a leadership state where you're finding out the motivations of these individuals, what their aspirations are, and how you can use those aspirations as capitalized incentives for you to then build your vision and tie it to your vision so that everything aligns within your team, their visions and aspirations, and your vision for the team, and bringing them together. So when I first started managing teams, I thought success was all about results. I thought that as long as I'm delivering, I'm hitting my targets, the machine is doing what it needs to do, my team is doing what it needs to do. But the real breakthrough came when I honed in those emotional intelligence skills. So started to listen to the team, actually create the space for them to listen, to voice their opinions and for us to listen, but also for me to start empathizing with them, driving those individuals in my team to work towards their own goals, but also bringing them into what my vision was for where I saw the team going, where the team can play a larger impact on the company as well. And leaders don't just manage people, they inspire them through that trust and loyalty and that connection that you need to build with those members. So if you want to be a leader, start focusing on understanding your team members. And when they know that you understand them on a personal level, they will go that extra mile for you. They will back you and they will be the people that you need to help lift the entire team up and give you prominence in an organization. Now, here's a big one: empowering your teams. So, effectively, as a manager, I had full control. I was delegating tasks out, and as a manager, you just want the work done. You're controlling what work gets done, telling people what to do in your team. But effectively, as a leader, it's a shift between you taking that ownership on yourself to making your team members take on that ownership themselves, making them accountable for their specific tasks in the day, and making that switch where they feel that they are in control of their own destiny and empowering them to think for themselves. So when I stepped into leadership, I realized I didn't have all the answers. I couldn't control everything. I couldn't make sure that every answer that was every question that was asked of me had an answer. So effectively, it was my transition to making the team think for themselves, bring their ideas to the table, have them challenge the way they work in a constructive way, and be innovative in delivering what they had to deliver, but in also solving that wider vision that I'd started to paint for the team and had in their prominence and what would happen to our team as we grew in the organization. So really empowering your team is very critical to getting them on board with your vision, but also making them feel like their ideas and our contributions are bubbling up to that vision that you have as well. So empowering your team means giving them that trust and building that trust with them, where you are allowing them to rise to that challenge. You've made them accountable for that. You've brought them into the vision and you are now empowering them to bring their ideas to the table. So once you've done that, the next step effectively is for you to build your strategic thinking capabilities. And that really is a shift from you thinking about today and working about what I do today to move to what is coming in the future, what uncertainty may lie ahead, what scenario may I have to tackle, those what ifs, but also being quite clever about those what ifs and knowing which ones are likely to happen. So with strategic thinking, you are reading up on your industry, you're finding out what is happening, what shift is going on in the industry, you're looking at the signals that are going on wider than your own team, so looking across the organization, getting a helicopter view from your network, understanding in the organization what is going on, and then having the confidence to then bring those strategic views to your leaders and being at that table when they're having those conversations. So really moving through in a fast-paced world like myself, working in global investment banking, in technology as well, it's all about keeping on top of those trends, but also anticipating what's going to happen next and being confident in having that strategic view that I'll need to remove my team from managing a day-to-day machine to then building innovation and effectively being strategic. Earlier in this video, I was talking about control. I mentioned control a lot. And as a manager, you tend to rely on authority and control to get stuff done. Well, as a leader, you need to shift completely away from that and you need to move more towards influence. So a leader is someone who can influence those successfully and create influence where you gain a following effectively. So moving away from that authoritative nature and getting things done by influence over control. I remember earlier in my leadership journey when I was a manager, I had to learn to influence decisions without having direct authority over them. They could be decisions that were coming from a different team, where that influenced my team directly, or being part of a process that effectively is about bringing people together, aligning their interests, and inspiring them to do things willingly through influence. It's about showing the value of your ideas and creating that shared experience, that shared purpose between you and the other people to then gain their influence. So when you master influence, you effectively have become a true leader. The most senior leaders, C-suite members are those who are able to influence effectively and at a large scale and do that very quickly. So there you have it. Let's summarize those key steps. You're going to transition from a manager to a leader by shifting from being very task focused to visionary and driving a vision and a purpose. Develop your emotional intelligence so that you can better understand your team and they feel that you understand them truly, to get them to build to that vision you have. You're going to empower your team, trust them to rise to the challenge, bring their own ideas to you, and really incorporate that into your vision as well. And you're going to think strategically. You're going to work more towards what's going on outside of your organization in the industry, reading signals of what's going on across your industry as well and across your organization, and then taking the next steps by influencing those around you and let going of the control and authoritative nature that you may have had as a manager, moving into influence and really wanting people to follow you for the right reasons. And those steps will make you a successful leader. And the best part is you don't have to figure out all of this alone. On this channel, I'll be sharing tips on how to perfect your leadership skills, move from management into senior leadership, but also share with you the things I've learned over my 20 years working in the corporate world and how I successfully became a leader, presenting to the C-suite in multiple organizations as well. So join me on this journey, subscribe and stay tuned for more videos where we'll teach you how to build your own career playbook.